The moment where your past no longer owns your next step. The moment where your excuses no longer get to wear the crown in your life. The moment where you stop shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. Stop silencing your voice to keep other people comfortable. Stop acting like you don't know how powerful you really are. See, you've been through enough to know that comfort zones are dangerous. They trick you into believing that safety is better than growth, that familiarity is better than possibility, and that surviving is the same as living. But deep down, you've been feeling that stir, that restlessness, that whisper inside that says, there's more for you. You've been sensing that this current version of your life is not the final chapter, not the final upgrade, not the final breakthrough. There's something in you calling out for transformation, something in you craving a higher vibration, a deeper truth, a more authentic connection with yourself. And now is the time, not next year, not when the money is perfect, not when the relationship is stable, not when the job is secure. Right now, in the messiness, in the unknown, in the discomfort, in the stretch. Because real change never comes wrapped in convenience. Real change doesn't come on your terms. Real change shows up with sweat, with truth, with hard choices, and with powerful yeses and sacred no's. Real change invites you to become someone you've never been before, so you can experience something you've never had before. I know you've been afraid. I know you felt stuck, doubted your worth, doubted your gifts. I know you've replayed the same story over and over again. Too late, too broken, too far gone, too tired, too old, too young, too unsure. But I came to disrupt that narrative. I came to remind you that none of those stories are the truth of you. The truth is, you've got everything you need inside of you right now to create a life that sets your soul on fire. You don't need to be perfect to get started. You don't need all the answers to take the first step. You don't need permission to rise. You just need a decision to no longer lie beneath your potential, a decision to stop waiting for someone else to choose you, a decision to claim your own power, your own joy, your own voice. Change doesn't begin when the outside world shifts. Change begins when you shift on the inside, when you change your mind, change your beliefs, change your habits, change your story. This is your change time because now you're aware. Now you know that settling is a choice. Now you recognize that you're the author of your own future, and no matter what's happened to you, no matter who left, who hurt you, who doubted you, who failed to love you, your next move belongs to you. Your comeback belongs to you. Your new season belongs to you. You owe it to the little girl or boy inside of you who once dreamed big, who once imagined a life full of joy and freedom and purpose. You owe it to the future version of yourself who's waiting on you to step forward so they can live out the vision you're afraid to pursue. You owe it to your legacy to rise up and say, enough is enough. I will no longer abandon myself. I will no longer wait for external validation. I will no longer stay small to avoid being seen. This is my time to rise. This is your time to rise with trembling hands and a pounding heart, and do it anyway, not because you're fearless, but because your purpose is louder than your fear. It's your time to stop being more loyal to your limitations than to your liberation, to stop rehearsing the pain and start scripting the power, to stop circling the same mountain and finally climb it. Yes, the journey will be messy. Yes, you will have moments when you question everything. Yes, there will be times when you wonder if you're strong enough, wise enough, ready enough. But baby, let me remind you that your strength was never built in certainty. It was born in the struggle, shaped in the fire, forged in the dark nights when you didn't think you'd make it, but you did. You are not here by accident. You are not hearing this by coincidence. This is a divine appointment with the version of you that refuses to stay asleep one more day. The version of you that is tired of the almost, tired of the settling, tired of watching life happen instead of making life happen. The version of you that is ready to stop replaying the past and start rewriting the future. I'm not saying it'll be easy. Growth never is. But ease was never the goal. Becoming was. becoming someone who can stand in their truth without apology, becoming someone who chooses peace over people pleasing, becoming someone who understands that transformation requires discomfort, sacrifice, and relentless belief in something you can't always see yet. You've already survived what was meant to break you. You've already endured storms you thought would drown you. You've already rebuilt from broken pieces. Don't let those experiences go to waste. Let them fuel you. Let them teach you. Let them propel you. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're not disqualified. You're in process. You're in transition. You're being prepared for the next level. This is your change time because you finally understand that growth and pain are often dance partners, that healing and hurting can coexist, that purpose and pressure can both live in the same moment. You've cried enough. You've waited enough. You've doubted enough. Now it's time to move, even if the path isn't fully clear, even if the resources aren't fully there, even if the people around you don't fully understand. You weren't called to be understood by everyone. You were called to be obedient to the calling on your life. So take the leap, make the move, start the thing, write the book, launch the business, apply for the position. End the toxic relationship, speak your truth, forgive the past, embrace the unknown, do the inner work, invest in your healing. Surround yourself with people who speak life into you, who challenge you to rise, who won't let you shrink back into your old self. Because you don't belong there anymore. You've outgrown that version of you who played small. You've outgrown the chapter where fear was your loudest voice. You've outgrown the identity that was built on pain. Now is the time to build a new identity, one rooted in power, in purpose, in possibility. You are not the same person you were a year ago, a month ago, or even yesterday. You are evolving, unfolding, expanding. Give yourself permission to be new. Give yourself grace in the becoming. And most of all, give yourself credit for how far you've already come. You didn't give up when it got hard. You didn't stop believing when it looked impossible. You kept showing up for yourself in ways that nobody saw. You kept moving through the fear, the doubt, the disappointment. And now it's time to cash in on that courage. It's time to collect the breakthrough that your pain has been paying for. This is your change time, and everything in your life is about to start reflecting the new you you're choosing to become. This is your change time, and change doesn't always announce itself with fireworks or fanfare. Sometimes it whispers through your quiet moments. Sometimes it nudges you in the middle of your breakdown. Sometimes it shows up in a mirror when you don't even recognize the person staring back at you. But even in that, there's a calling, there's a pull, there's a fire waiting to be stoked, and it's asking you to stop negotiating your value. Stop settling for crumbs when you were born for the feast. Stop doubting the brilliance that's been buried under years of disappointment, trauma, silence, and sacrifice. See, people will only see you at the level you see yourself, and it's time you see yourself through the lens of truth, not trauma. You've been wearing the wrong labels for too long, unworthy, incapable, unqualified, and I came here to snatch those labels off you because they don't belong to you. What belongs to you is power, resilience, creativity, divine purpose, and unshakable joy. What belongs to you is the right to speak up, to rise up, to show up, and to create a life that feels like freedom. And listen, you don't need to wait for anyone to validate that. Your past does not get to vote on your future. Your pain doesn't get to have the final word. Your circumstances don't get to write your identity. You do. Every choice you make from this moment forward is you casting a vote for the life you want, for the person you're becoming, for the future you're building. So make the choice that stretches you. Make the choice that scares you in the best way. Make the choice that honors your highest self, not your fearful self. And don't you dare let your current situation convince you that it's your final destination. Don't you dare let temporary pain steal permanent potential. You've come too far to quit now. You've cried too many tears to stop now. You've sacrificed too much to fold now. You've got the wisdom, you've got the fire, you've got the story, and baby, you've got the right to rewrite the whole narrative. You don't owe anyone the version of you that kept playing small to make them comfortable. You don't owe your future to the fears that held your past hostage. You owe yourself freedom. You owe yourself joy. You owe yourself to stop abandoning your own needs while trying to be everything to everyone else. You are not selfish for choosing healing. You are not wrong for chasing wholeness. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not a mess. You are a miracle in motion. And everything you've been through, everything you thought disqualified you, is exactly what's qualifying you to lead, to inspire, to love, to serve, and to thrive. Your scars are not shame. Your mistakes are not your identity. Your past is not your prison. It's your platform. Use it. Use it to speak life, to build bridges, to show others what's possible. Because this is not just about you. It's about who you'll become and who will be set free just by watching you walk in your truth. It's about the people whose lives will be touched by your courage, your resilience, your transformation. So don't sit on your power, don't mute your voice, don't hide your light. This is your change time, and that means it's your time to rise, to heal, to speak, to leap, to build, to break patterns, to shatter limitations, to create legacy. You are not waiting for a moment. You are the moment. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You are not waiting for the door to open. You are the door. This is your season to stop being a visitor in your own life and start being the architect of your destiny. This is your change time, and you've got to be willing to disrupt your own patterns to claim it, to interrupt your own comfort to embrace it, to shake up your routine and say no more to the cycles that kept you spinning but never progressing. Because real change doesn't come dressed in routine. It comes disguised as challenge, as pain, as pressure, and it asks you, who are you really when everything you used to depend on is gone? When the people you used to lean on no longer show up, when the excuses no longer satisfy you, when your own silence starts to scream at you louder than your fear ever did, this is the moment when you finally stop dimming your light because others refuse to see. This is when you wake up and realize that hiding hasn't kept you safe, it's only kept you stuck. Playing small hasn't protected you, it's delayed your destiny. And baby, it's time to come out of hiding. It's time to dust off the dreams you shelved when life got heavy, when loss knocked the wind out of you, when people betrayed you, when rejection cut deep. You didn't lose your power. You just buried it under survival. You didn't lose your voice. You just learned to whisper in rooms that couldn't handle your roar. But now is your time to unlearn the silence, to unlearn the smallness, to unlearn the story that told you had to settle. You were never created to blend in. You were born to stand up, stand out, and stand firm in your truth. Yes, the world taught you how to survive, but now it's time to learn how to thrive. Now it's time to own your worth without apology, to stop begging for crumbs when you were born to command tables, to build rooms if you have to walk away from anything that doesn't honor your value. You are not hard to love. You've just been offering your heart to people who don't know how to receive it. You are not too much. You're just more than some people are ready to handle, and that's okay. Your change time means giving yourself permission to evolve without waiting for anyone's approval. It means trusting that the new version of you is worth the risk of letting go of what no longer fits. It means looking in the mirror and telling yourself the truth, not the lie you've been repeating to keep yourself safe, but the truth that you are powerful beyond measure, worthy without conditions, beautiful without validation, and enough without exception. You are not put here to exist in pieces. You were put here to live fully, boldly, intentionally. So take your power back. Take your time back. Take your joy back. This is the season where you choose you, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Not because it's selfish, but because it's sacred. Not because you're perfect, but because you are finally done pretending you're not worthy of everything good, whole, and beautiful. The world doesn't benefit from your playing small. The world changes when you do, when you stop negotiating with your greatness, when you stop rehearsing the pain and start proclaiming the power, when you choose to break cycles instead of repeat them. When you speak even when your voice shakes, when you love yourself so deeply that settling becomes unrecognizable. This is not a motivation moment, it's a movement moment, a decision moment, a declaration that says, I am no longer waiting to be rescued, I am becoming my own rescue. This is your change time, and it's not about changing into someone else. It's about returning to who you were before the world told you who to be, peeling off the layers of doubt, shame, guilt, and silence that were never yours to carry, reclaiming the parts of you that you buried to make others comfortable, reigniting the dreams you postponed to carry responsibilities that weren't even meant for you. And I know that somewhere along the journey life taught you how to hide, how to blend in, how to silence yourself, how to lower your standards just to be accepted, just to be loved, just to survive. But baby, survival is no longer your standard. Thriving is, and thriving begins when you stop asking for permission to be fully you. When you stop looking outside yourself for what you've always had within. You don't need more time, you need more truth. You don't need a new life, you need a new lens. You don't need someone else to believe in you. You need to finally believe in you, because the truth is you've been powerful all along. You just got so used to your own brilliance that you forgot it was life. You've been so busy adapting that you forgot how to stand out. You've been so loyal to pain that you didn't even realize joy was an option. But now you see it. Now you feel it. Something inside of you is waking up. Something deeper than inspiration. Something louder than fear. Something more sacred than logic. It's your soul saying, no more waiting. No more hiding. No more shrinking. No more pretending. This is the season where you become unapologetic about your healing, unbothered by people who don't understand your growth, and unwilling to keep watering dead places hoping they'll bloom. Because you've got roots that are ready to go deeper, branches that are ready to stretch wider, fruit that's ready to be shared with the world. But the fruit doesn't come without the pruning. The growth doesn't come without the pain. The power doesn't come without the surrender. So yes, you may cry on the way, you may stumble through your breakthrough, you may not have all the answers, but keep going anyway, keep believing anyway. Keep loving yourself anyway, because this version of you, the one who shows up raw, real, healing, whole, scared but still moving, that's the one who changes everything. That's the one who breaks chains. That's the one who builds legacies. That's the one who makes people say, if they can do it, maybe I can too. You see, your transformation is not just about you. It's about the generations watching you, the lives connected to you, the people who will find strength because you decided to rise. So don't waste your change time trying to explain yourself to people who can't see your vision. Don't delay your break through waiting for approval that may never come. Don't postpone your purpose trying to carry people who refuse to walk. You've got to be willing to walk alone if it means walking in truth. You've got to be willing to release what's familiar if it means receiving what's meant for you. You've got to be willing to break your own heart if it means healing your whole life. And I know that's hard. I know it feels scary. I know the unknown can look like failure. But baby, what if it's freedom? What if it's peace? What if it's the version of you you've been waiting to meet? This is your change time, and change doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers in your spirit and waits for you to say yes. This is your change time, and saying yes might scare you, but staying stuck should terrify you more, because stuck is not your identity. Stuck is not your final chapter. Stuck is just a signal that something inside you is ready to shift, to elevate, to evolve, and baby, when your soul starts craving expansion, it's not going to let you stay small, not going to let you keep living in cycles that drain your joy, not going to let you keep repeating what's familiar just because it's safe. You weren't created to survive on repeat. You were created to grow, to rise, to stretch, to shine, and not just shine for others, but shine for yourself, Light up your own path. Speak life into your own dreams. Clap for your own progress and be the hero in your own story. You don't need to wait for someone to come rescue you because everything you need is already in you. The courage, the clarity, the conviction. It's been buried under years of noise, but this is your season to go within and dig it out. Speak to your inner warrior and remind her she's still here. She's still ready, she's still enough. No more sleeping on your greatness. No more shrinking to fit in rooms that were never built for your boldness. No more editing yourself to be accepted by people who never truly saw you. It's time to unlearn the fear that made you silent. It's time to unlearn the guilt that made you stay. It's time to unlearn the lie that told you you're not ready, not worthy, not enough. You've already proven you can survive. Now it's time to thrive. Now it's time to show up not with perfection, but with permission. Permission to be seen, to be loved, to be messy, to be magic, to be new, to be whole, to be powerful. And listen, change is not about becoming someone else. It's about unbecoming everything you're not. It's about dropping the weight of expectations, releasing the toxic loyalties, breaking up with your old excuses, and finally committing to your growth like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your peace depends on it. Your joy depends on it. Your freedom depends on it. You've spent too long watering everybody else's garden while yours went dry. You've spent too long proving your worth to people who never deserved access to your heart. You've spent too long waiting for a breakthrough that was always waiting on you. So now you move. Now you trust. Now you surrender, not to the fear, but to the process, to the becoming, to the breaking open that leads to breakthrough. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a real decision. You don't need to know the how. You need to believe in the why. You don't need a crowd. You need commitment, because the moment you say, I choose me, the universe starts rearranging to meet you at that level. Doors start opening, people start shifting, opportunities start flowing. Why? Because you finally aligned with your truth. Because you finally said, I'm not who I used to be and I refuse to keep pretending I am. Because you finally declared, this is my change time and I'm not backing down until my life reflects the greatness inside of me. And baby, that declaration is enough to shift everything. This is your change time, and you've got to understand that transformation doesn't always look glamorous in the beginning. In fact, sometimes it's messy, uncomfortable, heartbreaking even, because growth requires you to let go of what once felt like home, even when home was built on dysfunction, even when home was wrapped in pain disguised as loyalty, even when home was just you surviving with a smile on your face and a storm in your chest. But here's the truth. You cannot carry your old self into your new season. You cannot keep dragging wounded beliefs into your breakthrough. You cannot keep pouring your energy into people, habits, and environments that keep confirming a version of you that no longer exists. And yes, walking away hurts, releasing hurts, shedding hurts, but staying in a place that keeps you small, quiet, exhausted, and invisible. Baby, that kind of pain is slow and constant, the kind that drains your spirit and numbs your dreams. So today you get to choose something different. You get to say, I'm done being emotionally bankrupt while pretending I'm okay. I'm done trading my peace just to keep other people comfortable. I'm done living halfway in my power, halfway in my truth, halfway in my life. Because halfway is no longer enough for you. Almost is no longer satisfying. You weren't created to almost be free, almost be healed, almost be happy. You were created to live fully, to love fiercely, to shine unapologetically. And that means doing the work, having the hard conversations, setting the boundaries, honoring the no, protecting your yes, building your inner sanctuary so strong that nothing outside of you can shake it. You've got to rise like your future depends on it, because it does. You've got to stop negotiating your standards like your joy doesn't matter. You've got to remind yourself every single day that you were chosen for a purpose greater than your pain. And I know you've been through some things that tried to break your life, tried to convince you that you were only meant to survive. But every time you got back up, even if it took you a while, even if you came back limping, even if you had to piece yourself together with prayer and tears. You were testifying that there's something inside you that won't quit, won't fold, won't die. That's not just resilience, that's divinity in motion. That's what change is made of. And now you get to take that same power and point it toward your future, not your fear. Now you get to look at the same mirror that once made you feel shame and say, I see you, I honor you, I forgive you, I love you, and we're going to get through this together. Because this is your time to parent yourself in healing. This is your time to become the version of you that no longer performs for love, no longer begs for belonging, no longer chases validation. You are not a project to be fixed. You are a person to be honored. And from this moment forward, your life gets to reflect that. This is your change time, and baby, the only permission you ever needed was your own.